So here we are, back in the shop, not at the field, flying a maiden airplane. I know you all wanted to see that. I want to see it too. The weather's crap. Sorry. We're gonna move on with life now. Yeah, back when I was at Lebanon, I picked up a model, a new project. Um, This is another side quest, not a major project, but it's something cool. You guys know that I really like history. And if you don't know that, maybe I need to convey it better to you. So we'll start with a little bit of a history lesson. Maryland is home to a number of aeronautical companies. Lockheed, heard of them somewhere before. Martin Aircraft. Yeah, yeah. Martin Airfield is actually a place in Maryland. Fairchild Aircraft Company, located roughly half hour, 40 minutes away from where I currently reside. So I took a little trip up there and had a really good time with another club member. And I've had my eye on a PT-19 for a while now. Why? Because 2025 is Fairchild's 100th anniversary. How cool is that? So I got a PT-19. Just a brief sweep of the model as it is. Pretty straightforward. It's a model. This is the Hangar 9 PT-19, roughly 82-inch span. It's 81 and 7/8. It's 82. So what's really cool about it is that it's got a number of things done already to it, and I'm here to kick it up a notch, as it were. Just do more things with it because it's easy. Now, I picked up this model for $300. That seems like a lot, but in today's ARF land, it's really not. I mean, ARFs alone, bare ARFs on their own without any electronics are at least $300 these days. So I feel like I did pretty well, even though, you know, it needs some work. It needs some love. I think the model will fly as it currently is, but we're not necessarily going to do that. We need to go over the model first. And so let me start with the wing. The wing is pretty straightforward. It's a wing. It has ailerons. It does not have flaps. One scale detail that it does not have. But it does have nice Oleo struts. These look like Robarts to me, and that's cool. These landing gear look pretty nice. Little beat up around here, but that's okay. This acts like a torsion spring on landing, right? So forward and back. So that's a good thing. I do not necessarily care for these wheels. They're actually kind of nice. Maybe they're Sullivan's, but they're not marked with any particular brand. The foam isn't too rigid. I appreciate that. It is pretty soft, and it's pretty evenly soft too. Nice aluminum hubs too. But the PT-19 had little domes here, and the wheels were a little bit narrower. Not perfect. I think we can do better for pretty easy amount of work. The covering, I hate this covering. I hate this covering. It's just not right for a scale airplane. It's cheap. And you can tell that it's cheap because the paint, the coloring on the inside is flaking away. In a number of locations, it's failing. See, just by flicking it, the color is just falling off. So the whole wing needs to be recovered. We've got a couple of repair jobs here and there. It's just not great. So we're going to recover the whole wing. And it's missing a star on the bottom, I think. I mean, the top isn't bad. We've got these nice little foam inserts to prevent the wires from slipping in. The servos, I've never even heard of the brand on them, so we're going to replace those. But yeah, it's like, why? Why would you use this garbage? I know that sounds really harsh, but it's like if you're gonna build a model of this size, why would you cover it in the worst possible covering ever? If this is a conocoat, heaven help me get this off this plane. But I'm gonna do it because it's the right thing to do. Trash. All right, moving on to the fuselage. We're gonna start at the tail just to switch things up. And the first thing that we're gonna complain about is, yeah, the covering. More of this awful covering. You can even see the grain change in the wood through. It's just so thin, cheap, chintzy garbage. Gonna be thrown away. And you can see more of this paint chipping up here. The airplane's going to be flipped upside down from time to time for assembly. That makes sense. This is going to get dinged up and all it... we need better quality products in this hobby because a conocoat is not it. That's got to go because that ain't scale. Get it out. And we're going to do that. Now, I will say that whoever did work on this was a nice person because they use good quality Dubro hardware for the pull lines. Looks like a Dubro horn here. This is not a Dubro horn though. And this is a Sullivan push rod. Note the difference in corrosion here. We've got black oxide. There's a little bit of rust here, but it's not bad. This, I don't know if I can even turn that ever. So we're gonna ditch that Sullivan rod. Or clevis and put some Dubro hardware in. We're going to replace this chintzy wheel with something Dubro. We've got a nice aluminum hub with a tire on there. Note the tail weight, and that's even with that big honker up there. So we've got some improvements to do in the tail. We've just got to recover the whole tail. The whole thing's got to be redone. So whether or not I do hinges is to be determined, but probably will because I don't care for the CA glue style hinges. So that's a no big deal there. Now, I will say that someone took some time on this. They recovered the whole fuselage, and I can tell because it's got pinking tape stuff, pinking lines. Okay, someone did a pretty decent job on this. Additionally, let's zoom in a little bit further. This is like Solar Tex because it's got like a canvas pattern on it. Okay, so someone took some time. This has been painted because I did a little test patch here and it comes off. Okay, so this has had some work done to it. It's not the right color. It's not the scale color. It is a color. It's not right either. So I'm still up in the air whether to paint the fuselage the correct color. But nevertheless, it is a nice start. Okay. I have to figure out whether or not I can strip off these numbers. I don't know if they're stickers or if they're water slide decals. Hit them with some heat, hit them with some chemicals if I'm serious about painting. But there's other things on the fuselage that need some work too. Now, from your 3-foot perspective here, maybe 2.5. Okay, so pilot, not bad. Could use some better paint touch up here around the band, maybe some weathering on the leather to give some texture, some better texture to the leather. But he's glued in here, may not address that unless I'm feeling super ambitious. The combing, the cockpit combing is all, I mean, it's clearly a piece of rubber tube that was cut and that works, but you have to take care of it. This is very sun weathered and cracked and gross. That needs to be redone. I like all of the screws. It's very well done on the cockpit. Nice cockpit panels. Very happy with those. And that leads us up here to the nose. This is a Sato 150S Golden Knight. Now, this model called for up to a 150 size glow engine for a 4-stroke. Turns out that most people were pretty happy with how it flew on a 120. So that's pretty overpowered airplane here, so should be able to do all the dumb things. That's pretty cool. Happy with that. But the engine has been seeping so much oil. It just like someone just filled up the whole cylinder with oil. Just every time I look at this airplane, there's oil coming out of this engine. So I need to clean it up and need to get it running and started and let it stretch its legs, I think. Other things to note on the engine are that not only is it a 150S, it is a Golden Knight, which is a nice thing. I know it's just kind of gussying up and such, but I am pretty pleased with that. It's a really nice engine. Alone, this engine would be at least $200-300. Really nice engine. Very pleased with that. We got a nice choke to keep things off. So need a new 256 thread here to control that. And then there's a little Allen key here for adjusting the needle, right? Now, we also have some wires coming off of this, and this kind of threw me for a minute. I'm like, oh yeah, glow plug. Where do you put the glow plug? Well, it has a glow driver. Let me turn this on its side because cockpit, don't want to damage cockpit. We're going to turn it on its side and I'll show you inside the airplane. So here's a better look underneath the engine, and you can see it's the version that has actually 2 glow plugs. So that's a fun thing. So you have this driver here, and I was digging around and I had to do a little repair on this wood hatch, custom wood hatch. And inside was a very dead battery, but I found this glow driver. So a quick Google search found that this is one of those nice glow drivers that turns on immediately, and then as you advance the throttle, it will turn off, and you can program that. It's really cool, and it runs straight off of your receiver battery, so there's no major current draw or anything that has to be done with that. Pretty cool. No idea what this goes to. I'm assuming this is like an overflow for maybe when you're overfilling the tank, but otherwise it would just come out here and flow down. So I don't know what this is for, because this isn't on the scale airplane. Yeah, I don't know what that's for. But yeah, you have a separate switch for that as well. Clearly, I've been in here doing stuff. I've got a little 7 amp BEC here to run all the servos. I've got a 3-cell 1300 LiPo because it's right there. It's easy to charge the battery, and you can fly for a number of flights on that pack and then quickly charge it and be back in the air. Some people say you shouldn't fly internal combustion engines with LiPos because of the vibration could damage the batteries. I don't buy it. I've been flying with LiPos for years, and they see plenty of vibration traveling to and from events in my trailer, in my car. Never had a problem with LiPo because of vibration. Just saying. So yeah, don't care. I'm going to fly with it. Plenty of other people are using lithium iron phosphate, which is just a slightly different chemistry. It's still a lithium polymer battery, but it uses iron. So I ain't afeared. I think it'll be just fine. And if it's not fine, you guys can then say I told you so, but I really don't think that day's going to come. Moving on into the bay, I've got a cheap Radio Master receiver in here just for testing things out. And I had checked over the servos. They do all work. The Futaba S3010, kind of hit and miss. The potentiometers like to go out on the S3010s, so I might swap that out. These two, definitely, because I don't trust how old the servo gears are on the inside. The nylon might be brittle, so those are going to go probably in the garbage. Moving on, we have wing bolts. Airplane did not come with wing bolts, but I have these left over from the Dubro Texan build that I did with Dubro's Masterclass. So toss these in because need the yellow on the bottom of the wings, right? Yellow, see, I was thinking ahead. But other than that, we're all set. Pretty great that they marked the CG here, even though it's in pencil, but 4 3/4 inches. Gonna have to check that against the manual. All right, so that's pretty much it. There's one more thing that we have to go over.
I say go over, but I mean, it's really thanking people. So I have been very lucky and fortunate to have great contacts at Master Air Screw. Okay, so Master Air Screw, I hit them up and said, hey, I got this new project, already has a Master Air Screw prop, but scale prop is wood. Okay, all of them, they all have wood props. And I was Master Air Screw, the one that on here, the nylon, the glass impregnated nylon props, they're like indestructible. I mean, I've seen them break, but like only when you completely nose drive an airplane into the ground. I'm sure it does happen, but like seriously, some of the beefiest, most robust props I've ever flown in the industry. I've flown a number of top quality brands, and these props are just indestructible. So they shot me a wood prop, and I'm happy to fly it on this because of the look and the sound. A little less rotating mass, so I get more thrust, more performance out of the engine because of that. And this will then become my reserve prop because the scale prop is just too easy from Falcon. I didn't know about this until I went to the museum, right? But then once I saw that the scale prop, I had to do it. I had to do it. So Master Air Screw, I love you. Go over and show them some support and pick up some of their props because they are fantastic props. But it's just too easy to get the scale prop. But yeah, wood props. Only on PT-19s. Got to have a wood prop. Sorry, guys. Moving on. So aside from all of this that I've gone over, I do still have the cowl, which I had to remove. So for some reason, the cowl is like a really dark blue, black kind of color instead of that blue. I don't know why. Again, kind of why I want to paint the whole fuselage over again. But inside, it was a holy mess. This is actually cleaned up. There was some sort of stickiness, like the paint was not cured or the fuel had eaten away. Like they didn't think about fuel-safe paint when they painted this. So I've had to use acetone, and this white stuff down here is like some sort of glue or something that has failed also from the fuel. Again, you gotta use fuel-safe paints on a fueled airplane. You gotta. There's no exception to that rule. So you just have to do it. You have to think ahead. You have to do it right. And if you don't do it right, you get stuff like this. And I have to clean up the pieces. So you can see that it's all bare bones. But what I still have yet to do on this model is put it all together. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to put the wing on the airplane. I'm going to put you guys on a tripod and we'll wiggle the sticks and see how it looks. So this is where we are on the floor. And just to demonstrate, we do have stick wigglage. Pretty good control on the elevator and the rudder. I gotta say that old rudder servo, I'm pretty impressed with how fast it is. Throttle. So that's the throttle release. We're good there. So yeah, all the things work. You see the light that is flashing. That means it's not operating. So now we can turn that on. See, now it's off. Now it's on. Off. On. See, when my throttle is low, it's working. See, that's a pretty cool feature. I'm a big fan of that.
Still got to work out how it all actually works, but yeah, pretty fun addition. And the blinking says it's not working right now. That's what the blinking means. All right, so what's to do? Well, first thing I want to do is find a day when it's not raining or windy so that I can fire this thing up. I don't want to put the cowl back on until I get it fired up because of engine reasons. Like I said, I need, as a good measure, I need to check the valve lash on the engine. Really should do that. And make sure that mechanically the engine is sound. Still need to, again, take the fuel tank out, make sure the clunk is good, the lines inside the tank are good. Looks like a Dubro fuel tank. So yeah, that whole system needs to be checked before I do all that. But yeah, that's something I can do in the background. In the meantime, needs a clean. I can clean it, but ultimately I don't want to clean it because a lot of it's just going in the garbage, like the film covering on the wings. Oh my gosh, how awful. I gotta put together a list of parts that I need from Dubro, and so that'll be part of the mix too. Start a little spreadsheet and go from there. But in the meantime, I'm loving having a piece of history here in my shop. There is an event coming up at the museum in September that would be pretty cool to take the airplane to. I don't think they'll let me fly because it's actually at the Hagerstown Airport. It's a municipal, not a municipal, but it's a regional airport that is active, so I won't get to fly there, but it would be really cool to have the picture taken with a full scale. So regardless, I think it'll be a fun time to at least participate in such a historic event. You know, if you've made it this far in the video, thank you for being here. This is something that I love. I love teaching and share about the history and how to do some of this stuff. This is another great example of what you can pick up from someone else. Secondhand airplanes are still fun. It doesn't have to be from a box. And there's a lot of fun touching points, little details that you can add along the way. And until next time, guys, I'm just going to continue to encourage you to restore your new, old flying works of art.